Hi guys, it's Mickey again, and I'm here with Charlie Redmon from Rascals Reptiles. You guys are right here in Tennessee, right?
Yes, we're in Manchester, Tennessee, right in the middle of the state.
Awesome, awesome. So, what got you into reptiles, Charlie?
To be honest, I have always just loved animals and reptiles, especially for some reason. I always grew up catching and keeping whatever local reptiles I could find as a little kid. After I grew up, I joined the Army. When I got out of that, I met a local veterinarian named Tom Harbin, and he was the one that really introduced me to the whole actual hobby.
So he kind of mentored you a little bit?
He did. He definitely did. Before that, I knew reptiles out of pet stores like most people do, but that was the extent of it. And then once I met him and actually found out people really actually breed these things and how to really properly take care of them, it was no time before I was hooked.
Oh, yeah. I think that's a lot of people's story, you know. A lot of people that walk around these expos, they might be afraid of snakes, and then they get a snake, and next thing you know, they've got 40 of them.
That's easy to happen. They're definitely addicting.
So tell us a little bit about what you work with. It looks like you got a pretty good variety of things here.
We do have a good variety. Boas are one of my favorite species. We keep ball pythons, and it looks like we've got a lot of ball pythons right now. They're easy. They're fun to play with as far as genetics. That there's so much in them. You can just mix and match and do different things every year with the same animals. That and the temperament of them is just so chill and laid back. But other than the ball pythons, we've got boas. We've got some of the VPI, T-positive albino stuff. The ghosts and the sun glows that you're seeing. Then there's some of the leopard gene boa constrictors here. The one I'm holding is actually, it's a leopard motley. The common name they've called it is an eclipse.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
This was something I was trying to make, but I needed to make a female. And if it was a female, it would have stayed home, but I don't need a male. So that's one of the fun things of breeding is you're always playing with the odds of what are you going to hit, and are you going to hit on the right sex or not?
Yeah.
So this cute little guy will end up getting to go home to somebody else, and I'll try again. Hopefully next time I make one, it'll be a female, and I'll keep that one.
Now you ship, right? Like if somebody out there is watching this and they're interested in this snake, they can hit you up at Rascals Reptiles, and
we do ship.
And you can ship it out to them.
We do ship. We use some of the different shipping services that are out there. We usually only ship hub to hub, so that's a lot safer for the animals. It's about a 45-minute drive for me to get to a FedEx hub to put it into the mail for somebody, but it cuts down on the dangers of them traveling on trucks, and just it's a lot safer for the animals that way. It's in a controlled environment the whole time pretty much.
Yeah.
And then where you're at right now, we also have the sand boas, a fun, hardy little species. They're one of the tougher little species we keep. Good starter snake, especially for somebody that wants something, but they don't want something that gets very big. Males, you're talking about something that's 10 to 12 inches long. Female, roughly 20, 24 inches. But just easygoing little snakes. Really popular, come in a number of different colors. We had some black and white ones, some of the aneries yesterday, and those sold. So
those seem to be a favorite. I think people really like the aneries.
They are. They've always been popular, and it's one of the prettier aneries of all the different snake species out there, because a lot of them really do stay a nice crisp black and white and don't kind of brown out or fade like some other stuff does.
So Charlie, we haven't asked this one because we haven't really interviewed anybody that does Kenyan sand boas. If somebody brand new to reptiles was going to come get one of these guys today, get a Kenyan sand boa from you, what kind of advice would you give them on that?
Pretty much what I tell people is you're not going to need something very big for it. Get it a small contained cage. It does need to be real secure because they're small. They can escape pretty easy.
They are sneaky.
give them some sort of substrate that they're going to be able to burrow into and dig down in. There's something that they are going to stay down. They're kind of going to hide. They're going to show their face up out of the substrate where they can watch what's going on. And other than that, for sand boas, they're pretty straightforward. As long as you give them a hot spot of about 88 to 90 degrees, they're usually pretty bulletproof little species.
So that's that. I mean, really, in my opinion, those are great starter snakes. You know, everybody asks about the starter snakes. These guys, if they're well started, like you said, they're bulletproof. Like, you know,
they definitely are.
Newer keepers need that margin of error as they're learning how to keep an animal.
Yeah. And they're usually pretty opportunistic little feeders. These will take live or frozen thawed, either one. They are a species that once they get to be mature, which I'm talking mainly about males, once they hit about 3 years old, they may go off feeding a little bit during the wintertime. They'll usually eat once or twice a month still. They don't go on the longer fasting periods like ball pythons do. But males, once they mature, they do have a tendency to do that sometimes during the winter. But other than that, they really are one of the species we suggest for starters.
Awesome.
I mean, my picks for starter snakes, it's hard to beat a corn snake for a first snake.
Yeah.
But if that's not actually what you want, then you still need to start with a species that you actually want and like. Don't get a species that you're not really crazy about just because you hear it's the good starter snake to begin with. Make sure you get something you want if you're starting out and picking out your first animal.
Well, all right, Charlie. Well, thank you for being on, and hope you have a good rest of your show.
Thank you. Thanks for hosting this for us.